I'm going to go over some of the differences in the Dana 30 front end for the AMC Eagles. I have a few different years here from 1980. This one's an 85. This one back here is an 82. They changed some minor things through the years. Different components, different castings. A lot of them have a 235 ratio, which one of them has here. Some of the older ones had a 308. Some of the 4-cylinders had a 354, which a lot of people want to get them to swap in, but they're hard to find. So I'll go over what I did on this axle and what's going together with that, and what parts are in these and how to modify them. And that way you don't need to find a special axle. Okay, so this is a 1980 Dana 30. It's based off the CJ7. They added a shaft to this side. There's none on this side. It's just right machined into the housing with a seal and a bearing. I have this set up for a 308 gear set. This is what it came with. This one over here is from an 85. They were unique, again, where they had a non-disconnect. They did change a few things. This diameter out here on the axle tube is a little bit smaller than on the 1980. From what I can tell, they use the same bearing. Back here is an 82. This is a disconnect axle. These are the different carriers from the Eagle axles. This one's a 235 ratio. It's what people refer to as the thin casting. And they're talking about this point here. This was originally a 308 ratio, and this one has the ring gear from what this was swapped onto it. This is a Detroit True Track. One of the main things on these is the ring gear stays the same size. So if you look at all three of these, this diameter doesn't change between them. The pitch does, and the tooth count might, but the actual diameter stays the same. Now this is the 235, this is a 308. I'm not sure what this one is. This came out of a high pinion, so the gears are cut reverse. So the Eagles are a low pinion. You can see the tooth cut. This would be a high pinion with reverse cut on them. The Detroit True Track, this will fit inside the earlier housing. I have not tried it inside the later one yet. Okay, so what changed in these castings? To get to this 235 gear, they went way back here and they changed this casting to make it wider. And you can see that on this lip here. This piece that runs across, the casting itself sticks out almost all the way to the end. On this older one, you can see how there's quite a bit right here. And this actual piece here is a smaller diameter. And that's the same. This is an 85. This is an 80. It was cast in 79. This is an 82. And you can see the same thing right here. This casting is wider for that larger ring gear, or the larger pinion. So that's a 235 pinion, and it's absolutely massive, and it comes out all the way to the edge. That is the biggest difference I have seen in these castings. And I think that is the only thing that they changed. So you should be able to put a standard carrier in it. Now I just bolted this in. You can't really see back here right now because I have this in the way. But they, if you look, down here at the clearance between this shield and the edge here, there really isn't too much. That same shield is behind that pinion. You can barely see it back there, but this extends way back in. Okay, so this is a standard Detroit True Track for 354 and down, and it fits inside the housing. The only problem with this is it doesn't have a provision for the C-clips. So the Eagle Dana 30 uses poodle clips or C-clips. And on a standard carrier, you can slip these inside here. This doesn't have that. It's made for the Cherokees and Wranglers, and they don't use them. Some of them do, but not all of them. So to get around that, what I did on these are 28 millimeter snap rings, and it works real similar to modern CVs. So this pops in place, and now it's locked in. And I can lift this whole rear. So it takes 70 some pounds to pull this out, 80 some pounds. I can knock it out with a dead blow, but it's locked in place inside of here. And that's for both sides. So this will slide in, and that locks in as well on the other side. And that eliminates the C-clip, so you wouldn't need these anymore. And they'll work with a locker, a standard locker, or something like this, a Torsen style front end. Okay, some differences over the years. This is from the 85. And if I compare this to an 80, you can see the 85 has a thicker axle shaft. The bearing diameters are the same. The lengths are the same. But if you look at the part numbers, they're different. And this is why. They have a different cut on them for the axle itself. So this diameter here on the 85 is larger than the 80. So the early axles that you'll find in the 4 cylinders and all the early stuff, they're going to have this axle. This is the stronger axle, which would be an 85 only. It's going to be hard to find as well, but if you're doing a build and you're doing a specialty build and you're keeping this front end, I would recommend getting one of these. I don't have the 82 open. It is far too rusty to pull apart. Some of the other changes that they made were in machining these. The later ones, again, this is from the 85, but this is the 82, they changed it. They only machined 1 hole in them. So if you're looking at an axle and you only see 1 hole, then you know it's a later one. Not that there's other stuff that's really obvious, but if you're looking at just the axles, that's how you can tell. And then they also changed the valve, or the covers, the differential covers. This one's almost an 1/8 inch thick. It's incredibly heavy. The later ones, 84, 85, 86, they're stamped tin. This is very heavy plate. So if you're looking to hit some rocks or something, this guy will hold up. This is pretty much tin. You can see this is an early mount. It is very low in here, low to the axle tube itself. Even though it's a bigger diameter, this is lower. So this will have an extended bracket on it. There are two different types of brackets. 85, when they had the one-piece axle, this is up higher, similar to the disconnect. And then you also got a reinforcement down here to keep the axle from twisting. The same on 82. So 82 mounts, it's a high mount, and then you have a mount down here for your bar that'll run back to the transmission. Well, I hope you found this informative and kind of dispel some of the myths on the elusive 354 axle that the 4-cylinders have. I know they're getting hard to find, but you can build your own, and you can change your gearing and you can change your setup. The parts do fit. Just takes a little bit of work, and you can have yourself a nice, reliable, built front end to handle whatever you want to throw at it. Have a good day. Good luck on your build.